Chapter 3. Divided Loyalties. The ancient ruin felt charged with an uneasy tension as Elena Voss and Reland Kale surveyed the scene before them. The expedition team had secured the hidden chamber containing the mysterious Nexus artifact, but their triumph was short-lived as the sound of booted feet echoed through the cavernous halls. Ryland's expression hardened as a group of heavily armed strangers emerged from the shadows, their faces obscured by tactical gear. "You have no right to be here," he said, his voice calm but firm. "This is a protected archaeological site, and the Nexus is not yours to take." The leader of the intruders, a tall figure with broad shoulders, stepped forward. "I'm afraid you don't understand the gravity of the situation, Arcadian. The Nexus belongs to us now." He raised a gloved hand, and his team leveled their weapons at the expedition members. Elena felt a surge of panic, her mind racing to find a solution that would avoid a violent confrontation. "Please, let's discuss this rationally," she pleaded, stepping in front of Ryland. "The Nexus is an ancient and powerful artifact. We don't fully understand its capabilities. Tampering with it could have disastrous consequences." The intruder's masked face tilted slightly, and Elena could sense the disdain radiating from him. "Consequences? My dear, the only consequence that matters is the profit it will bring my company. Now, step aside, or we'll be forced to take drastic measures." Ryland's jaw tightened, and Elena could see the conflict raging behind his emerald eyes. He knew that the Nexus was not theirs to simply hand over, but the threat of violence weighed heavily on him. "You don't understand the true nature of this artifact," he said, his voice laced with a hint of desperation. "The Arcadian elders have warned us about the dangers of misusing its power." The intruder let out a derisive laugh. "Arcadian elders and their superstitions? How quaint! The Nexus is a technological marvel, and my company will be the ones to unlock its secrets, whether you like it or not." Elena felt a surge of anger, her scientific curiosity and sense of ethics colliding with the ruthless ambition of the intruders. "You can't just take it. This artifact belongs to Arcadia, and we have a responsibility to protect it and study it with the utmost care." The intruder's hand tightened on his weapon. "I'm afraid you don't have a choice in the matter, Dr. Voss. Now, step aside, or we'll be forced to remove you by any means necessary." Ryland stepped forward, his expression resolute. "You will not take the Nexus. This is our world, and we will defend it with our lives if necessary." The tension in the chamber was palpable, the air thick with the threat of violence. Elena could feel her heart pounding in her chest as she glanced between Ryland and the intruders, knowing that a confrontation was inevitable. Suddenly, a commotion erupted from the far end of the ruin, drawing the attention of the armed strangers. A group of Arcadian natives, their features etched with a mixture of fear and determination, had emerged from the shadows, wielding primitive but formidable weapons. "The Nexus must be protected." One of the Arcadians, a tall, lithe figure with piercing blue eyes, shouted. "You will not desecrate our sacred heritage." The intruders hesitated, their weapons wavering as they were faced with the unexpected opposition. Ryland seized the opportunity, his voice ringing out with authority. "Stand down, all of you," he commanded, his gaze sweeping over the Arcadians and the expedition team. "Violence will only beget more violence. We must find a peaceful solution to this crisis." Elena felt a surge of admiration for Ryland's composure and diplomatic approach, even in the face of such a volatile situation. She stepped forward, her own voice joining his. "Please let us discuss this rationally. The Nexus is a powerful and delicate artifact. We must proceed with caution and respect for the sake of Arcadia and all who call this world home." The intruder leader regarded them with a mixture of frustration and begrudging respect. "Very well," he said, his tone clipped. "We'll hear you out. But know this, the Nexus will be ours, one way or another." Ryland nodded, his expression grim. "Then let us talk. The fate of Arcadia hangs in the balance." As the two groups faced each other in tense silence, Elena felt a growing sense of unease. The Nexus had awakened something primal and dangerous, and she knew that the battle for its control was far from over. Divided loyalties and conflicting agendas threatened to tear the expedition apart, and the consequences of their choices could reverberate across the galaxy. Steeling herself for the challenges ahead, Elena followed Rylan and the Arcadian natives, determined to find a way to protect the Nexus and the world she had come to cherish. The fate of Arcadia and perhaps the entire galactic community rested on their ability to navigate the treacherous political and ethical minefield that had been laid before them. The ancient ruin, once a testament to the ingenuity and grandeur of a long-lost civilization, had now become a battleground, where the future of an entire world hung in the balance. As the expedition team and the intruders faced off, Elena knew that the true test had only just begun.